some financial crisis, you have some relation issues with the family. So many things, when it is stressed up over a period of long time, we will label that person as a hypertensive. It's same if it is a high level of sugars, we call it as a diabetic. What I'm trying to say here is long-standing uncontrolled stress. Coming back to the corona, earlier with lockdown, we try to fight. Okay. Now also we are trying to use both fight and flight. Lockdown, we are released. Then life become life versus livelihood. Then we have opened up because whole financial things was crashed, and we have again but just footed up cases in corona. Now we are now using both flight and fight. So that's how the situation is. We are not really able to find a solution. That's where the whole coronized mind is all about. To understand, when we have a two conducting system of our body, one is autonomic nervous system, another one is the endocrine system. These are the two conducting systems helps us in handling the situation. When these are all disturbed, which can create a disease of 21st century, so-called non-communicable disorder. It may be a diabetes, it may be a back pain, maybe obesity, anxiety, arthritis. Very much, if you see the prevalence of this disease, which been multiplied and keep multiplying and keep peaking every year. That's the situation. That's where yoga came to play a role to fix that. Because if you see the WHO definition of health, health is a state of well-being at a physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. They never said health is a state where you have absence of disease is not a health. So you have to have a well-being at a mental and also spiritual life. Unless and until you have that, you will be not called as a healthy person. That's where we got lost in the 21st century, ended up with so much of the non-communicable disorder. That's where yoga, because as I said, lifestyle is linked with mind and mind is linked with yoga. Our mind is disturbed. We have doing the prajnaparada, knowingly doing bad things because lack of control. The diabetic patient knows sugar is not good, but tongue will not listen. Here again, tongue is not a culprit. Here the mind is culprit. So everywhere it is because of the lack of control over mind, the lifestyle has been changed, and that can be reversed back through the proper understanding or implementation of yogic way of life. Yogic, I will try to communicate those things in my later slides. So why yoga? Earlier, if you see before the 6 months, maybe a COVID-19, we used to say communicable disorder, yoga don't have a much role. Yoga plays a very important role in the lifestyle diseases, non-communicable disorder. But role of yoga is limited in communicable disorder, so-called at present what we have COVID-19 pandemic. But over a period of time, its role has been so beautifully uncovered. If you see maybe a 6 month back, every research article they say yoga is a lifestyle intervention, yoga is a mind body medicine which is used for a non-communicable disorder. That will be the introduction. But because of the psychological impact, negative impact as associated with the COVID-19, yoga again playing a very important role. We try to see that part now. With these things, we used to feel we are now reaching the Mangala Graha, we are going to sun, we are going to moon. So we are feeling proud. Now we are especially the developed countries, the ego has been slashed because the best of the best healthcare system expressed their helplessness in handling this pandemic. You all observed that because media is repeatedly showing those scenarios. What I'm trying to say here is best of the best things which not helping. Now it become life versus livelihood. And this pandemic not only impacted the lung and not only contagious, it also loss of jobs, lot of phobia because there is no specific treatment is available, no vaccination till date, and the stigma associated with this. Even though best of the best healthcare system, all facility what we have at present with us, but we are still finding difficulty to handle this corona. That's where again another lockdown has imposed from tomorrow onwards. More than 550 plus police personnel has been died got infected, and then more than 100 of the police personnel has got died. What I'm trying to say here is, so everybody is under stress. It may be a school online classes. People say, so few people far for it. Few people say it is not. Keep changing guidelines every day. There is a policy. Minister says there is no lockdown. 15 days back, suddenly there is a lockdown again, because they feel, because there's so much uncertain, the whole disease is uncertainty, and the social stigma and the phobia associated with it. A lot of people are committing suicide. Patients are running away from the hospital for many reasons. Even a police has been no notice has been, it has been committed a suicide by the fear or social stigma. So much of a negative, especially the impact on the mind has been created because of the COVID-19. I repeat, yoga plays a very important role. Yoga is basically a mind-body intervention. Basically, it focuses on the mind. Definitely, you will going to get an added benefit at a physical level. Most of the people feel yoga means it's a breathing exercises. It is only restricted to lung. Definitely, yoga will give you a better result, improve the lung, respiratory health. Everything is improved, but it is beyond that. If you see the certain research article, I'm going to share you with you people. If you see a breathing exercise, everybody knows breathing exercise is good for lung. It improves the respiratory health. But in addition to that, what I'm trying to say, it is a very powerful tool for the mind management. Whenever you are stressed up, you can able to know, just try to do atma avalokana, introspection of yourself. Whenever there will be a stressful situation in your life, there will be an increased respiratory rate. Any situation, you just try to introspect yourself. So whenever you have those kind of situation, you do a Kapalabhati followed by Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama followed by Bhramari. These three practices, maybe within 10 minutes, you can able to see the tremendous change. People say yoga takes a lot of time to give a benefits. You can see immediately whenever you are in a stressful situation, practice this 10 minutes practice, maybe 5 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes of each practices for 10 minutes. You can really able to see the wild falls will become like a silent lake. That's the power of pranayama. Pranayama definitely helps for the lung. I am not denying it, but these are all people underestimated thing, which is not good. In addition to that, I want to bring a very fascinating thing for you people. For example, if people says tomorrow there is a new medicine has been invented, it will improve your life for maybe 1 or 2 years. So how many people will be there in a queue to purchase this medicine? Definitely, long queue will be there, even though it is it's latched together price. What I'm trying to say here is, if you see this chart, very interesting and very fascinating chart, respiratory rate is linked with the lifespan. The animal which breathe at a faster phase have a lesser lifespan. The animal which breathe at a slower phase have a longer lifespan. What I'm trying to say here with this slide is, for example, dog breathe at a faster phase. So it is lifespan is 10 to 20 years. Tortoise breathe at a very slower phase. It lives for 400 years. So in addition to whatever the COVID-19 and other problems, if you can able to reduce your respiratory rate by regular practice of yoga, you can expand and extend your lifespan of a free of cost. That's the beauty. This is based on some amount of scientific evidences. Whatever, if you can able to see, if you just make out list of all the animals and their RR and try to see their lifespan, you will understand there is a direct link. Regular practitioners can reduce their RR. That's how they can expand or extend. What I'm trying to say with this slide is yoga beyond the lung, yoga beyond the mind. Yoga also can expand your lifespan. As I said, our mind has been colonized with fear, anxiety, depression, loneliness, social stigma, disturbed sleeps, even cognition, even memory has been also disturbed in students because of the online classes. So we have to overcome this, unless and until when there is a stressful situation, it will reduce your immunity. It will invite when your internal, it is like a security, fight in the border. When we have a weaker military personnel at the border, it will allow the enemies to enter in. That is what is happening. When you are stressed up, your immunity goes down, so your warriors become weak. Okay, then it will become upper hand of the virus, and then it will take over, and it will cause a very severe impact. So what we have observed, because we are working in our hospital is converted into a COVID-19 hospital. We have around more than 60 plus patient admitted in our hospital itself. I'm hardly now sitting maybe a 10 meter away from the COVID-19 ward, hardly a 10 meter. So what I'm trying to say here is, again, it's very, very important to understand the state of a mind. If you are mentally strong, your immunity will boost. I'm not saying it will kill, completely cure corona, but it will definitely help as an additional tool to fight against corona. I have seen our own colleague here admitted, along with three of our PGs. So what happened? Other three PGs were very much comfortable, but because of one of our faculty was condition was very one day, maybe for a half an hour, deteriorated because not of the lung, because he heard his saturation level went low. That was very, very minor, but because of the panic nature, it has further worsened his condition for a half a day. When we have been counseled, it really helped him to overcome the situation. That's where we must strengthen our mind, and yoga is one of the better tools which can really help us in handling the stress. Stress is a speeded up, uncontrolled thought. We everybody want to actually switch off the thoughts when then something is bothering them beyond their, but there is no switch is given for us. So yoga can act as a powerful tool in handling the mind, because yoga is a chitta vritti nirodha mana prashamana upayah samatvam yoga uchyate. Chitta is mind, vrittis are thoughts, nirodha is a control. That's what Patanjali says is all about. Chitta is mind, vrittis are thoughts, nirodha is control. Yoga basically a discipline, a philosophy which is aimed at managing the monkey mind. If we can able to manage this, we can able to manage the sense organ as well as the motor organ. We can change our lifestyle. Change happens automatically, can lead to a better life. So what I'm trying to say here with the colonized mind, every day morning, if you keep seeing the media, today also everybody is, they are trying to do some interview in the KSRTC morning, what I have observed. People are saying, I have some problem, my family problem, I am going. Somebody says, no, my mother is not well, I'm going to visit her. But the way the media is exaggerating, everybody living in Bangalore and people don't want to live in Bangalore. So this will create a further panic. For example, that's where it is subconscious mind feeded. I will give you a very popular ad of Santur. So Santur, a lot of jokes has came on this ad because of the Santur, no? So that people continuously say Santur, Santur. When you keep watching this Santur advertisement, if people are not planned what kind of soap they have to purchase when they go to mall, they have a plan to purchase some soap, but they are not decided on the brand. Unknowingly or knowingly, when it is continuously bombarded and the subconscious mind is feeded, they go and pick up the Santur soap. Arshina Mattu Chandanada Gunakudida Santur. So the way the advertise been made, that's where it create a lot of impact on the subconscious mind. This colonizer mind is because of the fear, phobia, stress, anxiety, depression, everything, the psychological negative impact because of the over. I'm not telling we should be prepared. We should not get panic. This becoming a panic when we see the kind of media and other things, which is even through the social media also, it is creating a lot of. So what we see outside is a tip of the iceberg of the emotions when we see a patient. But unfortunately, today we are only trying to treat the symptoms at the physical level. The mental health and social health of a patient is not considered to fix the lacuna at the present healthcare system. I repeat, the present healthcare system basically focused on the physical health and symptoms, they are giving less importance for the mental health and the social health. That's where yoga can pitch in and help psychosocial intervention. That's where it plays a very important role. Adopting the yogic principles and changing yogic lifestyle way, it will can boost the mind and also strengthen the mind and better control over the. That's where if you can reduce the thoughts voluntarily, this is becoming, earlier it was involuntary. When you do a continuous practice, this uncontrolled thought can be controlled in a better manner. So basically, no, this concept of Panchakosha is taken from the Taittiriya Upanishad, where we have a 5 layer of existence. For Annamaya Kosha is the physical body, because we have been very much familiar with heart, lung, no, eyes, everything. This is all comes under Annamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha, prana, people see pranayama is a breathing exercises. People have a wrong notion. No. Pranayama is an exercise for the vital energy. We use breath as a tool to control the prana. Clear? And the mind, we can use the dhyana, meditation, we can do the dharana. Ayappan sir was in the beginning only, he was given an overview of the Ashtanga, complete overview of the Ashtanga. So what I'm trying to say here is the Vijnanamaya Kosha is the counseling is also very, very important. Psychological support is very, very important from the people and also a patient. Even post this COVID pandemic, yoga plays a very, very important role, because they need a support. It may be a infectant or not infectant, because it has been disrupted life in several components. So this is a model. Usually people say, no, what kind of yoga I have to do? No, we want to know yoga model. What yoga? So yoga is actually a tailor-made. It's called personalized yoga therapy is needed for everyone, because every one of us very unique. Okay. So that's where, but in general, these are the what sattvic diet is need to be important. You should have a sattvic diet regularly. In addition to that, regular practice of asanas are very, very important. But before doing this asana, you must to learn these things. And cleansing, as I said, Neti becomes so popular. Lata Mangeshkar Hospital in Pune, all doctor practicing Neti. So people now started asking for the Jalaneti. It's a nasal irrigation. If you use nasal irrigation, there people they found out those who are using the nasal irrigation, COVID-19 is not infected. Those who are not using nasal irrigation, they got infected. Some of the anesthesia doctor made a video that become viral, and everybody started doing now Jalaneti. Earlier it was not that. That's where we need to understand these things and start adopting yogic way of life in day-to-day life. That's really going to help us a lot. Pranayama, as I said, pranayama is not the breathing exercises. We use breath as a tool to control the mind. Definitely it is going to boost the respiratory system, improve the pulmonary function system, and also improve the health of a lung. In addition to that, meditation, people say not doing anything is meditation. If you feel you are doing something, it is not called meditation. Meditation is a higher state. Most of the time in the name of dhyana, we will be doing dharana. Okay? So I don't want to touch the Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha, because what now I am trying to do a counseling, I am trying to make you understand the importance of a mind, how important of the mind in handling the COVID-19. So that itself will make you some easiness or some kind of calmness or some kind of bringing your anxiety fear down, that it's a intervention. Few of my patient, I don't give any asana, pranayama, anything. Just simply speak to them for half an hour, maybe a 3 or 4 session. I had a lot of students in the last year, 3 or 4 among. No, I have not given any practices. Just spoke with them for a half an hour, 3 session. We have able to change where medicine failed to handle their emotions. They have a disturbed sleep, restless mind, with just counseling, yogic way of counseling. So what are the scientific basis for the yoga and COVID-19 pandemic? So a lot of evidence has been found. A lot of research has been done in the last 3 or 4 decades. And there are a few research, I don't want to go in detail, but I just want to give you, there is a scientific basis behind telling yoga as a complementary medicine or yoga as an alternative medicine. Without evidences, we are not speaking. Okay. there are a lot of evidence to say yoga is helpful in handling improving the mental health. It is more than 350 times cited article. Okay. So these are the few things what in the review. Yoga found beneficial in depression, fatigue, stress, post-traumatic stress. It improves the physical fitness. During lockdown, people can't go to gym. People can't even walk in the park. Everything is locked down. Simple practice in the morning, doing some Surya Namaskara, some loosening exercises, some amount of pranayama, short, maybe half an hour, altogether 40 minutes, will make you fit physically at the level of physical fitness and also at a mental fitness. In addition to that, it will improve the cognition, it improves the emotions, it also give a flexibility and fitness and improve the endurance. That's what it has been found. It is another article published in International Journal of Yoga. These all evidences is meant to make you understand there is a lot of research has been done, so it has been found beneficial beyond doubt as a complementary medicine at present. This one picture, this is published in one of the US author, I think it's an Indian origin person who was working in US, has published a very beautiful article. So in this one, it gives a clear picture that what are the way it helps. What are the through HP axis, hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis, by reducing these cortisol levels and the balancing the autonomic nervous system and also certain biochemical parameters, it is found beneficial. This slide summarizes scientific basis of underlying mechanism of the yoga. Atmanirbhara Bharata, it is very, very important. If we lose our heart, why Prime Minister of India was asking us to make a sound using the and supporting or maybe encouraging the frontline warrior? Because people are getting depressed, people are losing hope. Atmanirbharata is very, very important. Unless and until that also possible, I've seen so many people. Now, DD National is every day during the lockdown period played the Ramayana and Mahabharata, and also Upanishad Ganga. Very interesting serials have came. It was one of the widely viewed serials what we have been observed. That simple watching and understanding the concept of these Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Upanishad Ganga itself calms our mind, itself boosts our immunity. That's because yoga is basically a chitta rutti nirodha. Chitta is mind, ruttis are thought. If you can able to calm your mind, it can be done through the regular practice of asana. It can be done by the regular practice of pranayama and maybe a meditation. If watching a good philosophical serial itself can calm your mind, understanding about life, purpose of life, pain is a part of life, acceptance, life, problems are part of life. If we are able to accept, problems are part of life, we have to prepare this to face this COVID-19 pandemic itself. Will give a lot of confidence in us. Otherwise, it is happening, I am lost, I can't do anything. So the positivity is gone, there will be no Atmanirbharata. Then it will become again, it's a vicious cycle. Unless and until you fight out, you have that strength in a mind, it is very difficult to fight. It will again reduce the immunity, it will cause further problem at a different level. There was a study done in Sambar in the Manipal. What I'm trying to say here is research is important, but lack of evidence doesn't mean that it doesn't function, because we don't have an evidence at present to see the real impact of the yogic practices. Our acharyas used to float in the air by using some mudra, practicing some mudras and bandhas. That's the power of yoga. And at present, the present science cannot believe somebody can fly by practicing some certain practices. But at present, we are not able to follow the yogic lifestyle. So many changes has happened, and we don't have an equipment which can able to assess the psychological impact. So in addition to that, what I'm now trying to say you people, I'm maybe another 5 to 6 minutes, I will end my talk. These are the certain evidences. Yoga has been found beneficial in boosting the immunity, improving the interleukin levels, so decreasing the interleukin IL-1, IL-6, and TNF alpha. So it has been found beneficial even in improving the lung, respiratory health. A lot of research has been found in improving the COPD and asthma and tuberculosis. These are the certain evidences. So basically, yoga works through the psycho-neuroimmunology. That's the bottom line of the whole research findings, what I'm trying to tell you. Through the psycho-neuroimmunology, yoga can boost the psyche, that is mind, your nervous system, especially the autonomic nervous system, and it also can boost the immune system. As I said, yoga is basically a lifestyle. Yoga is a way of life. Yoga is not morning half an hour, not evening half an hour. It is ahara, vihara, achara, vichara. Everything can be did in a better way. What healthy food we need to eat? We need to do a better achara, better vichara. Food, leisure, conduct, and purpose. So as a role, as I said, it can be a prophylactic. If you practice regular yoga, it improves immunity. It will give the mental courage, and it will change your perception towards life, give a better clarity. You will be physically fit because of the regular practice of asana and pranayama. It can be used as a prophylactic during infection state, because during especially mild and moderate, we have already conducting some certain studies in COVID-19 patient and also frontline warrior. What we have observed here is it improves the lung, and it also improves the psychological well-being, what we have observed in both frontline warrior and also in a COVID-19 patient. Yoga is basically a way of life. By adopting Ayurveda and yogic way of life, we can really make a lot of difference. And there is already Ministry of Ayush published the guidelines of Ayurveda and yoga, which really boost us to improve the immunity and better fight against COVID-19. So now people have a very interesting. So sir, it's all okay now. We want to know what kind of practice we need to do it. That's what people interested at the end. So yoga is basically, as I said, it's for the mind management. If you can able to control or tame your mind, it really helps a lot. It can be practiced. There are several schools of yoga. These are the 4 basic schools is given by Swami Vivekananda: Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga. So by doing selfless services, helping COVID-19, a lot of people are doing warriors in the whole process. That can also help in fighting this. Whatever jnana I am trying to give, which can calm your mind, surrenderance to God, whatever is happening, because COVID-19 has cleaned the Ganga. It has, now we are able to see the Himalaya by 400-kilometer distance. It cleared the air, which we failed to do it for the years. So it has, even though given a very good thing, so that's how we should do surrenderance. It's God's own way of handling the situation and rebooting the system. So as Ayyappan sir said in the beginning of the class, he said about the yamas, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. Following the yamas and niyamas, do's and don'ts, is very, very important. Regular practice of pranayama and regular practice of asana is very, very important for the physical fitness, as well as also improving the lung capacity or improving the pulmonary function test. Pratyahara, people doing a lot of mischievous, and even though there is not unnecessary social distancing, so many things are missing and isolation is missing at present, because we don't do the social responsibility, we are not following. We need to do that. So yoga philosophy talks about that we need to adopt in our way of life to change. A lot of yogic practices given. I will share you a slide which this is whatever possible. Earlier you need to learn under an expert guidance, later you have to practice. Yoga can be practiced from not the womb of a mother, of a baby, and it can be done a patient on a deathbed through the listening to the maybe a good music is also helpful at a subconscious and unconscious level. So yoga can be practiced by anyone. So this is common yoga protocol. This link is, you can just make a screenshot of this. You can use this link, a PDF link, which is given a self-explanatory link, and also a video prepared by Government of India, and it has been published. Just practice these things day to day, and it will help. As I said, nasal irrigation is becoming very famous, but it has to be learned under the expert guidance, then only practiced. It can also, because whatever deposited in the nasal passage can be cleaned out. So it's a need of our, because a lot of engineering student and the other science background people are there. We need to break the barrier between the discipline, do manthana of that, come together, develop certain good things, which can measure the subtle energies like gas discharge visualization, Kirlian photography, and strengthen the transdisciplinary research so that we can lead the healthcare system, especially this kind of situation in the world, because India have a well-established Ayush systems and allopathy system, and we have a technologically very sound. Lot of engineering colleges across. So people should take certain, come across, break barrier, and take certain topic and do a research and bring a good quality journals, publications, so that we can lead the world. I just, before conclude my words, I just want to say, remind you people the 7 guidelines which is given during the lockdown, earlier lockdown, by the Honorable Prime Minister. He requested the people to adopt Ayush guidelines, and he said several times in Man Ki Baat to practice regular yoga in fighting corona is one of the tool which helps. Bhushan Patwardhan sir tweeted several times, now rather than fighting Ayurveda great and allopathy great, it's a need at our to come together and find a solution. We are still importing a lot of medical equipment from the Western country, and we can develop our own equipments and with transdisciplinary research mode and strengthen the healthcare system. So to summarize, yoga is a better tool. It can act in combating the ongoing pandemic. It can be used as a prophylactic. It can be used during infection, and also it can be a very good tool even post rehabilitation of the after this post-traumatic effect of the COVID-19. As I said, transdisciplinary research is need of our. We are not taking any much of the decision. There is some stride fund has been already allocated in the UGC. We all need to take those kind of funds and start doing transdisciplinary research so that we can have a better healthcare system. And in addition to that, I don't want to restrict yoga to the only COVID-19 pandemic and forget. Yoga is a way of life. Yoga can make a life very beautiful, and it can add life to the years. How long we live, it doesn't matter. What quality of life we live is matters. Yoga can improve your quality of life. That is more important. So we have forgotten our culture. Now we have started from hello, hi, we have came to namaste. To conclude, we have to live and let live, and it is a necessity to modify our lifestyle and adopt Ayurveda and Yogic guidelines to improve our immunity, improve the physical health, improve the mental health. Regular practice of yoga can really make a lot of difference. With this, I am almost at the end of my talk. If you have any questions, please ask. Before concluding my class, I would like to acknowledge Karnataka Science and Technology Academy officials, Sayappan sir, Ramesh sir, and Sri Umesh Ghatke, scientific officer, who has been continuously interacting with me, and for this wonderful opportunity, share my thought for the different platform, because the other people, I feel it is a very, very important to adopt yogic way of life in our day-to-day life, not only during COVID-19, throughout our life for a better quality of life. Even Ministry of Ayush, I would like to thank, because I have used certain guidelines from their net, and also Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. I have taken few of the information from Dr. Nagaratna's and Dr. Nagendra and Dr. P. Pradeep Kumar's, our mentor slides, I would like to acknowledge. Few of my slides have been used the Google, Wikipedia, and PubMed and Web of Science and Scopus. I would like to acknowledge them. And also, I would like to acknowledge my colleagues and students for their support in this, preparing this presentation. With this, I would like to end my talk. We have now MSc, PhD, one of the, we have already started integrative medicine department in our university. This is first ever integrative medical department in Karnataka. In India, ours is the second one. Recently, NIMANS also started integrative medicine center. This is a need of our to break the barrier and do a research in transdisciplinary research. With this, I conclude my talk. I thank all the participants for their attention and also all the official bearers for the wonderful opportunity. I thank one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Nitin Patilji, for giving an excellent overview on the role of yoga under pandemic COVID-19. Now we have a few questions. I think a few of the participants have directly asked you in the chat box or Q&A
Okay,
session.
I will just stop share.
Meanwhile, there is one question from a participant who is asking, a beginner who has not practiced yoga in life during lockdown, many yoga centers are closed. So which is the best online platform to learn art of yoga authentically from Ayush or something like that?
Okay, as I said, I have given that this is one of the commonest question which I have frequently asked question in this lockdown, because in my earlier webinar. So I have added that common yoga protocol has been designed by the Ministry of Ayush itself. It is a self-explanatory. Ideally, it has to be learned under the expert guidance, but at present, because of the lacunas, even we are conducting a free yoga classes through the Zoom platform and also other, maybe a Google Meet, other platform, online platforms. Maybe there are a lot of other centers. You need to get oriented to yoga through that common yoga protocol, and also PDF is also available. That's the best authenticated way we can now start with if you are not done the practice earlier. But it is very much important, you should take a help of a yoga expert. If people are interested, I have given my email ID. Anyhow, we are already conducting free online classes for the police and the nurses. We can also conduct the classes for the interested people. Anyhow, with the, now distance doesn't matter. Hope I have answered their question now.
Thank you, Dr. Nitinji. And there is one more question.
Yeah.
For old age people, it is very difficult to teach yoga, and there will be no master. Is it possible to teach old age people to learn few immunity booster yoga asanas without master? It's a kind of previous similar question only, but the participants would like to know about this.
Yeah, elderly it is again between compared to adults. Elderly it will become more challenging. It depends on the if any comorbid condition. If they have too much elder, they have disability, then the mode of approach will be completely different. Elderly is a very broad terminology because it may be associated with comorbid condition. It may be the age itself. It may be a restriction. I suggest maybe they can do pranayama. The simple pranayama, Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, and also Brahmari. And there is something called Yoga Nidra, which is also available in a YouTube. They can just listen. They don't need to do anything, because that Yoga Nidra will found out, a lot of research article has shown that it will calm the mind. It will it will improve the quality of sleep. Alpha, theta, beta, the waves has been improved in a when people regularly practices Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is a practice, you can sleep, lie down on a bed, just listen through the ears using the earphone, closing eyes you can do. That's also one of the practice. Okay, this kind of practice can be advisable in absence of masters, but ideally, especially in elderly, it is good to take a help at least online to teach yoga for the elderly.
Thank you, Dr. Nitinji. I think you have got few questions in Q&A questions directly to your inbox.
Yeah, I will just now seeing that. Good morning. Just going through. Is there any feedback? No, I'm not really of 10 minutes. It's all very general for this thing. They have asked for the video recording.
No, that we can provide, sir. That is not an issue.
No, they are all put very nice, informative. Not really able to
No,
see
that's
much.
a chat box. That's a chat box. I think we can take offline questions also, and we'll get back to
Yeah,
you
I have
soon.
shared my email ID. They
Yeah.
can drop a mail also. If
Yes, sir.
anybody, any of the student, anybody is interested, we can even launch online classes. We can teach them. Maybe we can orient them also. We will now also we are giving a video link, PDF. Once they get oriented, then we will do one-to-one session. Then maybe a small group of 10 people, we can observe them from the online platform.
Thank you
They
very much,
can,
Doctor. Yeah, I
yeah.
think few of the institutions and faculty would like to contact you regarding this for collaborative programs like yoga and
Okay.
training programs. Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to request our Dr. Ramesh sir to speak few words.
Dr. Patil sir, it was a very exciting talk. We had not organized any talk on yoga. This is the first time that we organized. Certainly, it gave a lot of information to broaden the horizon of our knowledge in yoga. In future, we'll be organizing many webinars. We'll be inviting you as an expert to deliver talks. Thank you very much sir, for your time and a good talk.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we have Dr.
Madam, madam, I thought talk. Yes, madam. No, good afternoon, madam. Hello. Good afternoon, madam. For the second talk, we have with us Srimati Parimala Jagesh, madam. I'm sure all of you would have seen madam in many of the TV shows, and also on Facebook. I'm also a fan of madam. I am I have become a friend in the Facebook. That's why listening to her talks in Facebook, I thought we should invite madam for a webinar talk. Readily she agreed, and she'll be delivering a talk. Before that, let me give a brief introduction of madam. All these years, we knew madam as better half of our icon, film icon, Jagesh sir. Now let me give a brief introduction about madam's achievements. Hello? Hello? She, Madam is a dietitian and health and wellness coach. She is the founder and director of Alamirap Nutrition. Basically, Madam is a engineer, architect, in fact, architect from renowned Engineering College of Bangalore, that's PMS College. She has done medical transcription courses, and she has been a medical transcriptionist for more than 20 years. She is also a certified health and wellness coach from California Institute of Integrated Sciences. The inspiration to start Alamira Nutrition Company is due to the fact that she herself is a proud, healthy, type 2 diabetic since 1994. So initially she was on tablets, then had to migrate to insulin, and through scientific evidence-based nutritional and lifestyle choices, she has successfully reversed back to tablets from her insulin dependency of 5 years. You can imagine the achievement she has done. Based on her life journey and struggles to learn the art of diabetes management, she has formulated a unique copyrighted diet process, the first of its kind in the world. Congratulations, madam. Lamb diet, glucose track diet, a combination of state-of-the-art technology and ancient Indian cooking wisdom. Reason for Alamira is that one man's food can be another man's poison. The value of the above statement has been irrefutably proved by a glam diet. Every individual is unique, and the age-old method of nutritional counseling based on calorie counting and fixed formulas are no longer relevant in this day and age. So, Madam has developed diabetes need not be the says. Madam says diabetes need not be the killer disease. It should be understood. With very simple scientific changes in food and lifestyle modifications, every single individual can improve his glucose ranges and reduce medication. With this brief background, I request Madam to deliver a talk on role of nutrition during COVID-19. Indeed, Madam, we are very privileged to have you on the for this workshop. Over to you, Madam. Okay.
Yes, madam is there.
Thank you so much. Ramesh sir speaking. Is the network issues okay?
We can listen. It's
Okay,
audible,
sir.
but please continue.
Okay. So, ellarigu namaskara. It's such an honor to be a part of your academy. Yes, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy. So, as Dr. Ramesh said, people have seen me in a very different genre, but life never goes according to what we plan. I think all of us know this, especially 2020 lockdown. Especially during the 2020 lockdown, what has happened is all our best laid plans have just gone. This itself shows we can keep planning for the future, but we never know what's going to happen. So I started out like you guys, very interested in engineering. So when I got married, I was in my 10th standard, but yes, loved to study. So continued with my PUC, got into BMS College of Engineering Architecture. But as I was into my 5th year of architecture, though there was no family history of diabetes, I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetes, and that led to a huge shift in trying to understand the human body, the value of nutrition, and what do I do to keep myself safe and healthy. This journey, which started around 26 years back, is a part and parcel of my life. As students, what is our most important thing? Yes, right now, in this situation of COVID-19, we feel completely locked in. Yes, I do understand You want to go meet out friends. I do understand you're feeling coped up. Uncertainty. You don't know whether your college is going to give you online classes. Are your exams going to be there? With this much of uncertainty, you also think that as a youngster, is it wrong if I just go out for a cup of coffee or tea with my friends? Definitely not. But you should just remember, where is it wrong? Being a responsible citizen. Yes. Why have the governments come out with rules like physical distancing, maintain 6 feet, personal hygiene, wash your hands, don't touch your eyes, your nose, your mouth? Why? For the simple reason, this virus is so new. We do not know how it is spreading. Every day there are updates happening in the world regarding what we can do, how do we best control this pandemic. And as all this is going, one thing is certain, it spreads really, really fast. And as the youngsters, as the people who are going to lead our future, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself so that you are not an asymptomatic carrier of this disease. You are not an asymptomatic carrier of this disease towards your family, your friends. That is our responsibility. So forget about what the government says, forget about what the police say. You, as a responsible individual, as a responsible student, you do know your safety is what is going to be the safety of your entire family. So, another word, when you think with all this uncertainty, there's a lot of mental strain for students, because I just read an article which said that the highest number of freshers who have not got placed, have not got placement, have not got a job is so high in 2020 that this is leading to a lot of mental health issues. Now, do you know that there is a strong link between nutrition and mental health? Yes, there is also an amazing link between physical activity and nutrition and your health. When you say nutrition, we always think nutrition is for Is the audio there now? Can you just guide me? Is the audio there?
Yes, madam. Audio is there.
Okay. So
Due to low bandwidth, I think network issues, it's not connecting video. You can go ahead now.
okay.
Now it's audio, video, both are coming, madam.
All right. So I am sorry. And yes, this is what we have to live with. The same thing, if there was no lockdown, I would have been in your college campus talking about this. But now we have to make adjustments. Life has all come down to this. So
Yes, madam. Yes,
yes,
madam.
the
Yes.
is fine.
Voice is audible. Yes, madam.
Okay. So I don't know whether you guys heard about Warren Buffett, what it is to be healthy today. The topmost philanthropist, the richest person is saying, I should have been healthy. I should have taken more care about my health. And this pointer, especially during COVID, it has just shown very clearly there is no distinction between rich and poor, whether you're a prime minister or you are a small kid. Anybody at any point of time can be tested positive. What can we do to avoid this? Obviously, whatever the government is pointing out is so true. Social distancing, physical distancing, personal hygiene. Along with this, the role of nutrition has been studied very intensely the past few months. And what we understand is once you're healthier, the speed of recovery from being a COVID positive person is also healthier. So, what should we do? Very simple. Another word which we're hearing with COVID-19 could be a lockdown and immunity boosting. So, the very common vitamin associated with women immunity boosting is vitamin C. Does that mean that now every day, the minute we get up, we start adding substances of vitamin C? It could be oranges, it could be carrots. Do we just fill ourselves with vitamin C and say, okay, I've had so much of vitamin C. This is a very good immunity boosting food. I'm not going to become COVID positive, or this much is enough. No, I'm extremely sorry to say that just one simple change is not going to completely change your life, but it is a very, very important change. So, before we jump into what are the exact sort of foods we can add, there is a whole other ratio to being healthy. Healthy does not mean only nutrition. Health includes so many factors. So, I will just quickly go through these factors and very, very simple. Let's start with the most basic factor. When we talk about nutrition, have you ever wondered? Nutrition is equal to diet, and diet we always think is either for putting on weight or for losing weight. That's all. And do you know how many thousands of diets are there in the world? Innumerable. Yes, the count of the diets just runs up to thousands and thousands of diets. And there was a very interesting study which said that on an average, in a lifetime, every individual at least approximately 126 diets they would have searched for. And do you know where do they get all these diets? Google. Yes, they search for different diets on Google's. And do you know what is the key word they search for? Quick results. Do you really think, being students of science and technology, that shortcut methods, quick results is definitely going to last you a lifetime? Definitely not. I do understand if somebody else thinks about it, but you guys are into science and technology. You should understand that to be healthy, this search for shortcut methods and quick fixes is not going to work. Yo-yo dieting, extreme dieting at one end, you're not able to sustain, then you just jump back. So, yes, this sort of yo-yo dieting. As I said, extreme dieting at one end, jumping back to the other end is not going to work. What what do you do for this? Is this a never-ending cycle? So let me share my story with you and what I did. When I became a type 2 diabetic, I did this very same thing what I'm talking about. I tried all sorts of methods to try and lose weight in a very easy form, because for me, it was not cosmetic, but it was health. I was very scared. I was worried. You know, my second kid, he was just 2 years old when I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I was so scared I will not be there to take care of them. So I did all the mistakes which you're not supposed to do. I tried all shortcut methods. I tried drastic diets. I would just go only on ragi ganji. Yes, because according to me, diabetes and ragi is a very good combination to lose weight. From morning to evening, I would be on ragi ganji for almost a week. What did all this lead to? This led to my immunity system going weak. This led to huge fluctuations in my diabetes. This led to huge fluctuations in my diabetes. And it was then that I realized I am not doing the right thing. So what did I do? There is science, there is knowledge, there is so much of information out there, but I don't know what is the right information. This especially is very true in the field of nutrition. We would have just read maybe yesterday that there is something that is really good for the body. We try following it, and within a month, you have a survey, you have a research where they say, no, that is not that good for your body. With this amount of misunderstanding about nutrition, about what exactly is good for the human body, what can we do? You know, brilliant, smart move would be, don't blindly go by whatever you hear. Don't blindly go by whatever you see. And
Yes, madam.
one of the saddest, yes, sir, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible.
And one of the saddest parts in trying to find diet or diet tricks was when people search for their most favorite celebrities and what they have done. Now, that is not evidence-based nutrition. So these are the pitfalls which as youngsters we have to avoid. So in a brief way, I completely believe in evidence. I completely believe in science and technology. And I believe today's youth should adapt all this to be very, very smart in taking care of their future, not only as successful human beings, but as healthy, successful human beings. Let's start with the most basic thing, water. Now, there is so much of confusion about water. How much water should a person drink? So, very simple, you know, there is no one fixed rule for everybody, but scientists and researchers have come out with very good, valid points, which I'll be sharing with you. The amount of water you're supposed to drink obviously depends upon your body weight, the type of climate you're living in, the sort of day-to-day activities you're doing. But other than this, a very simple average to calculate would be for every kg of your body weight, around 30 ml of water. That means, let's say you weigh on an average around let's say you weigh on an average around 60 kilos. So 60 into 30 would be around 180,800 ml or approximately 2 liters of water. Now, many of us might forget to drink water, and when we remember, we just chug in a whole bottle of water and say, okay, I finished my entire quota of water. That is not the right way to do it. There is very simple way which will also help you and keep you completely active throughout the day if you follow these simple strategies of drinking water. When you get up in the morning, If it's possible, just go in for 2 glasses of warm water. Initially, first thing in the morning, no warm water, at least room temperature water. This completely helps your circulatory system to clean away the residues of the fasting you've had since night. So when you get up, 2 glasses of warm water. After that, half an hour before your main meals, have a glass of water. During your lunch or your dinner, during your meal times, reduce the quantity of water you drink so that it does not actually dilute your digestive juices. And an hour after your meals, post your meals, continue having water. A very important, scientifically they have discovered is people with blood pressure, before you go to have your bath, when you drink a glass of water, that actually helps you, during your for a bath time. Next, before you go to bed, it's always good to consume a glass of water because it keeps your blood little thinner. Most of the cases of heart attacks happens during most of cases of heart attacks happen during the morning when your blood is thicker. Such a simple thing, Alva. We think drinking water, that's it, just drink water. But there's so much of scientific background study, researches, surveys which goes about just a simple topic like drinking water. What is the next best thing you should do to ensure that your diet is in the healthy form? There was a very recent study where we studied about the average consumption of fruits and vegetables by the Indian population, and you will be shocked to understand we fall completely towards the bottom 5 in the entire world. Yes, unfortunate, even though we produce the biggest, largest amounts of so many fruits and vegetables, yet even though we produce among so much fruits and vegetables, our Indian population completely lack in adding this into our diet. Very simple. Just add 2 different colored fruits, 3 different colored vegetables every single day in your diet, and just see the difference that happens in your life. Why different colored fruits and why different colored vegetables? Simple. Every color has its own nutrient value. So let us say when you say fruits, when you're mixing, having a different rainbow colors of fruits and vegetables, you are being very smart and getting the best nutrition which nature is offering us free of cost. The third pointer, what we could do is physical activity. Now, this is something which has a huge question mark in our Indian population. Unless and until you're diagnosed as a diabetic or that you have a particular health condition, people were not very, very health conscious. Now, thank God, it's all changing. But lockdown has again become a major issue in us. We feel we cannot go out. Yes, lockdown has brought about such a huge stoppage in our physical activity. World Health Organization recommends around 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week or 75 minutes of vigorous activity per week. You just break it down. It's around 30 minutes of physical activity per day. Now, physical activity can be anything which you enjoy. That should be the first point. No point in doing something which you don't like. Let it be yoga. Let it be just walking on a treadmill. Let it be dance. Let it be any form of exercise. Continuous movement is what is very important. Now, many a time people ask, ma'am, the entire day I'm very busy. I don't find time to do exercise. But I'm sure you can just split up. Let's say in your college or at home, after your meal, give a 20-minute gap so that it just settles down. Ask your elders to move around, just slightly move around at least for 10-15 minutes. It helps. Out of 24 hours, 30 minutes is all you require of a continuous form of workout to keep yourselves healthy. If you're not going to keep yourselves healthy now, you would have to make way for ill health in the future. It is as simple as that. There is another major pointer. Guys, I run a nutrition company called Alami Wrap. That is just Parimala written in reverse. And I use a sensor and I gather the information of energies, food, what we eat, how is the energy translated. So today when I'm talking to you, it is basically based on almost 15 lakh blood glucose readings of my clients, which inputs I'm sharing with you. Let us have the most perfect diet, but if you are stressed, there is a complete imbalance in your energy. Especially, this is very, very true for diabetic people. What happens is, in spite, let us take our common staple. Let us take, okay, ragi roti and chutney. So for a ragi roti and chutney, if our sugars, like 2 hours after a meal, if it should have been around 140 or 150, when you are stressed, it automatically shoots up to almost 200. Now, especially during COVID, this has become a common problem, not only for diabetics, for each of us, because every time we are stressed in our body, there's a hormone called cortisol. That's like a dictator, okay? So once this cortisol hormone gets released in the body, it says, I am the boss. I'm not going to let the other organs function properly. I'm not going to let the other hormones function properly. And by just stressing about our future, by just stressing about our future, by just stressing about the lockdown, about what might happen tomorrow, we are in fact inviting ill health to our body. Yes, all of us are confused, all of us are worried, all of us don't know what the future holds, but being stressed about it is not the way to go about it. So, what can we do to reduce our stress? As our previous speaker was talking about yoga, yes, that is one surefire way of keeping your stress under control. Meditation, listening to calming music, pranayama, all this plays a huge role in controlling your stress. This in turn controls your cortisol, and this in turn gets all your other problems into a better control. So, yes, I am drinking water. I am trying to add 30 minutes of physical activity. I am also trying to control stress. Is this enough, ma'am? Along with this, along with all these three factors, one of the most important factor which most of us oversee is sleep. Yes, good sleep is of the utmost importance amongst the different foundations for a healthy human being. Good sleep is one. What do you mean by good sleep? And how much sleep is good sleep? Again, this varies according to individuals, but studies say around 6 to 7 hours of good quality sleep without a lot of disturbance is essential for you to be healthy. So, how do we ensure that we get a good sleep? Oh, God. It has been scientifically proven that before going to bed, if you have a warm water bath, that helps you sleep better. Next, please switch off from the blue light filters, your social media, your phones, your Instagrams, your WhatsApp for at least 1 to 2 hours before you sleep. Read something, get your stress level down, calm your mind, and this will lead to good sleep. Why am I talking about all this? Just eating healthy foods at the right time, in the right quantity, is not going to bring about a huge difference in your life if you're not going to follow these basic principles. So, once you get all these basic principles in mind, what should you do? It is very simple. If we go by let us say, macronutrients. Now let's just go with, all of us know about this. There are three major macronutrients: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Big confusion is there. Some people say, when you say carbohydrates, they say like there are new fashionable diets like keto diets which completely eliminate or reduce the percentage of carbs. There is low carbs, high fat diet. So what diet are we supposed to follow? I personally believe, do not cut out one major macronutrient from your diet. It is not healthy, because before you start a diet, just ask yourself, okay, I'm going to completely stop eating carbohydrates. I'm going to stay only on proteins and fats. Do you think you can follow this diet even 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the lane? Before you start any changes in your routine, ask yourself one question: is this possible? For example, I was doing my Ragi Ganji diet. I did not know. I should have asked myself, can I just drink only Ragi Ganji for a week, expect to lose weight, expect to get my diabetes under control? And can I sustain this for another year, for another 2 years? I would have got my answer, that is not possible. So, before you start any diet, ask yourself, can I do it? Can I sustain this? After 5 years, after 10 years, Nimiga answer your uttara, illa, no, anta. If you get that, please stop doing it. So, what is the better choice to do it? Okay, very simple. Avoid white, go in for complex carbs. Why do we say avoid white? Very simple. When it is white, like maida or white rice, the outer layer is removed. So basically, you're lost on your fiber, and these get converted into simple sugars and just push up your sugar level. So what are we supposed to do? Simple carbs, avoid that. Instead, go in for unpolished version, go in for white rice, but go in for the unpolished version. Go in for what is very famous, our millets. Namma Siri Danya millets is such a boon. Yes, thyroid people, you have to be a little aware of millets, because there are studies which says particular millets push up, along with cruciferous vegetables, push up the thyroid count. So I will just end up what thyroid patients should do. For the normal population, what can we do? We will avoid white, go in for complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates, the ones which are semi-polished, unpolished, brown rice, red rice, any unpolished version from our villages, from our rural areas, our millets, our siridanya, all this is good. And you have to experiment. See, every individual today, how many of you are looking at this? Each of you, see, this is a very interesting point. Okay, just think about it. Let us say in your house, there are like you, your sister or brother, and your parents. 4 of you sit across a table, okay? And let us all have, even I will join you guys. So I am there as a guest in your house. I am sitting with your family, and all of us have gone for, let us say, to at least one vada, chutney, sambar, our typical South Indian diet. 2 hours. And we are having our breakfast at 8 o'clock. We finish eating by, let's say, by 8:20, all of us finish at the same time. 2 hours postprandial after eating our food, if all of us check our blood glucose ranges, you will be shocked. The same food, the same quantity of food, the same timing we ate, but everybody in the table, including my sugar counts, are going to be completely different. So what does this mean? One man's food So what does this mean? One man's food can be another man's poison. We have to be very careful and not follow generalized 2 lines of random whatever we have heard. There was also a study which said that red wine, because it has resveratrol in it, is very good for the heart. But in my company, when almost around 100 clients, diabetic type 2 clients, when they had red wine, we found that almost 75 to 80% of them, their sugars shot up. Maybe for a normal person who is not a diabetic, a small glass of red wine could be good for the heart, but this is not applicable for a diabetic. So this is an example to say, don't blindly go by what you hear, but you should understand. So let us stick to complex carbohydrates. And it is also proven, when you have an idea of what a healthy plate should look like. Initially, what we used to do, if you take our typical South Indian plate, all of you know, maybe like around 75% rice, for that maybe dal or rasam and curds, and maybe a little of vegetables, a papad, pickle. This is what we have seen our parents eat, our grandparents eat, and we also are eating. If there is a small shift in this, do you know what a huge difference it will make in your health? What should the shift be? Instead of having 75% of your plate with carbohydrates, cut it down, bring it down to your plate, just follow. Get it down to around 25% in your plate, okay, carbohydrates. The other 25%, let us go with protein. So we are talking about our next macronutrient, protein. Now, why do we need protein? How much of protein is required? Very simple. Based on your physical activity, based on the sort of lifestyle you lead, the protein requirement for each individual is different. But for a very simple calculation, per kg of body weight, around 0.8 grams of protein is required. So, what do we do? Why should you add protein into every meal you have? By just doing this simple change of adding protein into every meal you have, do you know that post your meal, you feel so full? Protein takes longer to get digested. It takes 3 to 4 hours to come out of your digestive system. So you feel fuller for longer. You can eat lesser. You don't have to snack. Yes, there is so much of beautiful changes that take place by just adding a simple protein into your diet. So let me give an example. Let us say what we South Indians always tell, concrete, uppit. Yes, if we are going to talk about this breakfast staple in our lives, if you're just going to take uppit, what happens, rava uppit or any uppit, it is, even if you're going to add a little grated vegetables in it and make it like a masala uppit, still the percentage of carbohydrates is so much more than what is required. You know what a smarter option would be? Instead of taking, let us say, one big soup bowl of uppit, cut it down. Have half a bowl of uppit and half a bowl of simple sprouts. You don't have to keep preparing. Sprouts. You don't have to keep asking your parents like, Ma, I don't know how to do it. You do it. You don't have to be a burden to anybody in your family. You can do these simple changes yourself. So have ready-made sprouts, and when you're having it, green gram, excellent for weight loss. Just take a handful of green gram with Just take a handful of green gram with your breakfast, and you have got in a good protein source addition. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, every meal, let it be a snack, what you're taking, instead of having a snack of tea and biscuits, if you have a snack of, let's say, tea with a cup of a small handful of roasted chana, it can be a small handful of peanuts, because peanuts is also a little calorie dense. So don't go with anything overboard, okay? Whatever people say is very good, spread it out throughout the week. For example, if you do understand roasted chana is good, you don't have to keep having roasted chana every single day. There are so many. Oh, no. There are so many sources. What you're supposed to do is mix and match these sources so that you get the best benefits. Next, there is a big question mark about fats. People always think by just adding, a little of a fat, maybe a teaspoon of ghee, organic ghee, athwa butter, it is not good. Ma'am, if you say take a little paneer, they say no, that is very fattening. People are scared to add fat into their diet. But there is absolutely no reason to be scared of fat. Just ensure you're adding good quality fat. Now, what do we mean by this? There are very good oils, like let it be coconut oil, or it can be olive oil, it can be little groundnut oil. You could add just a little of this into your foods when you're eating. When we say ghee, you don't have to go overboard, but definitely 1 teaspoon of ghee when you're having your lunch, 1 teaspoon of ghee in your dinner is not going to harm you, because fats are an essential nutrient required for the proper functioning of the body. It's a very important aspect. So you don't have to be scared of fats. Just ensure you choose good quality fats, and you also go in with the right quantity of fats. So this is an overall about the macronutrients. So let us now come to what should we do for the micronutrients and COVID nutrition. So there are so many micronutrients. There are almost 13 vitamins. What is most essential during COVID time would be to fight infections. Now we need somebody to protect us, right? We need, like, our soldiers are there to protecting our borders. The borders of our countries are safe. Our country is safe because of the soldiers there. For our body, we also need these fighters and these soldiers. And how do we support these soldiers? How do we support these fighters? It is through the different forms of smart nutrition tips. Now, the essential micronutrients to fight infections are vitamin A, B6, 9, 12, vitamin C, which we all keep hearing. But along with this, vitamin D, vitamin E, all these are very important. Now, where do we find, ma'am, in which food items are these available? Uh, Today, in this world of technology, I'm sure 1 second you just go Google, you will get the list of food items and ingredients which are there, which are easily available. I'm going to talk about, rather than uh, giving you a sample diet plan, I would like for you to understand why should you add these vitamins. Because one thing I have seen with my clients, the minute you understand the use of a particular thing, you are very, see, human beings are used to adaptations, right? Whatever it is, we know to adapt ourselves. So we can adapt so well to whatever is happening. What do we require now? When you talk about vitamin A, Let's say a game of football. Okay, so first line of defense you have when somebody is playing football. For this, vitamin A is your first line of defense. It does not allow the infection to come in. It protects your cells. So we need that first line of defense. Basically, where do you find this? The other form of paneer, like soya in the Madirodu, tofu, nuts, seeds, whole grains, legumes, all our kidney beans, all the different sort of beans, egg yolks, all this you have vitamin A. Why should you add vitamin A? As I told you, the list of all this would be available later. You just have to understand vitamin A is your first line of defense. Now, when you come to the different uh, B vitamins, let us say suddenly like there's somebody like your game of football is going, so in this game, the first line of defense is vitamin A. Vitamin B, what role does it play? It's actually like security guards, if someone trying to enter into the field, they're like chasing them away before they come. So all these vitamins like the B6, the B9 folate, B12, the cyanocobalamin, all these B vitamins help you in that. So where do we find them? We all know this. Green leafy vegetables, cereals, fruits, nuts, seeds, dairy, and sometimes, when you don't find a particular thing, there is fortified cereals, but right now during lockdown, we don't require this. So let's not bother about fortified. What is available at home? Let us go with that. And now I'm coming to vitamin C. Now, this vitamin has become a sort of superstar during this time of lockdown. Everybody is talking about vitamin C. Why? In the body, there is something called oxidative stress that happens. And to counterbalance this, we need vitamin C. But the problem with vitamin C is you can't store it. Your body is not, it does not have the capability to store this. So every day you would have to replenish it. For example, we have brushed our teeth yesterday. So does that mean we don't brush it today? Of course not. We brush it. Every day we have to use the brushing because it is over for the day. Similarly, vitamin C, we have to keep updating. We have to keep taking it every single day because the body absorbs how much it wants. The rest of it is passed away. It is not stored. So where do we find this? Very simple. And how much of vitamin C is required? Now, instead of going into, we require say between 60 to 90 milligrams for women to men. Instead of going into this logistics and telling, okay, ish to milligram, ash milligram, instead of going into ish to milligram, into the depth, let's just understand. If we eat these fruits, these vegetables, automatically our vitamin C levels in our body will get enhanced. It's something like orange color, oranges, the water you drink, just slice to drop, take a lemon, nimbe hannu, lime, just slice it, drop it into your water, and throughout the day you can keep sipping on that lemon water. Berries, kiwi fruit, yes, broccoli, it has amazing vitamin C, tomatoes, capsicum, all this is available in vitamin C, and you don't have to just finish it in one shot. As I told, smart move. Take a bottle of water, take your bottle of water, slice lemon, put into it, and it's done. Along with this, we also need vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin. This is very important so that our entire body's pathogens, they can be, the cells require this, okay, to fight against the our infections. What should we do? If you go out in the sunlight, you get vitamin D, and usually things like mushrooms, egg yolks do have vitamin D. And if you can sit out in the between, like instead of that hot sun, early morning sun and the evening sun rays, anywhere in your house, if you have a window which allows sunlight to come in, don't apply sunscreen or moisturizers, just sit, get in the sun's rays. So just get in the sun's rays and this will help you. So before I wind up, let me tell you, very, very important to search, resource your information from credible sites. Please don't go by anything that any site puts up. So for us in India, our Ayush site is a very credible site. And going through this, it has listed everything, right from the foods to eat, the sort of exercises you can do, what should you do to stay healthy. Such a beautiful, our government's website is there. Go through it. Don't blindly follow. A simple few pointers of how you should be: drink warm water throughout the day. Completely helps you in fighting COVID-19 infection. Practice meditation, yogasana. Next, our Indian kitchen, it's such a treasure trove. The spices are so beautiful. So, turmeric, cumin, coriander, garlic, these four things, okay? T, C square, G. Start increasing this in your day-to-day lives along with warm water. Anyway, you're drinking warm water. Why can't you make it more healthy, more beneficial? Drink herbal tea or what we call kashayas. Make herbal teas very simple. Namholi basil, cinnamon, pepper, ginger, raisin. Make kashayas, have this. And you actually don't need me to tell you this, but I would love to tell. We all know sugar, white sugar is one of the major cause for illness. Try and avoid sugar, okay? And sugar is there in processed form in so many things. It could be like sugar is in so many hidden forms. So try to be safe, avoid sugar. And if people feel, I just can't go without sugar, go in for the natural sources like a little of a jaggery. See, calorie wise, everything is the same, but for you. And another simple trick would be, let's say for a cup of coffee, if you used to add 1 teaspoon sugar, don't stop it immediately. Cut it down to half a teaspoon, stay with it for 10 days, and then you can still reduce it. Anything you do in life, please remember what I told you. Ask yourself, how do I sustain this for a long time? Anyways, this has been a very beautiful opportunity, and really sorry for the lot of cuts that was happening. I think it has been network issue because I am happy I got an opportunity to meet you guys, share these inputs, because anywhere you can find a ready-made diet chart. What you will not find is what is the experience of others, what should you do to stay healthy. And remember, kids, it is your responsibility. All the things you heard today, please share these valid pointers with your parents, with your elders, with your friends group. Tomorrow's health, tomorrow's generation is completely dependent on you guys. So thank you so much for having given me this opportunity. KSTA, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy. It was lovely, lovely talking to you all. Again, please, I'm really sorry for the number of cuts that was happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam, for your
Thank
wonderful
you.
explanation about our ragi diet, water intake, diabetic sugar content nutrition, what they should intake, and millets and activities of 156 number of activities, 70 minutes rigorous movement of the body, and moreover universal common diet. Few of the questions we have, sir, madam, from participants. They want to know about what should be the common or universal diet for babies, growing kid, and old age people.
Okay, when we say for, there are certain basic things for all these age groups. That is fresh fruits, vegetables. During this COVID times, ensure that you wash your hands before you touch these fruits and vegetables. Ensure that these fruits and vegetables are completely washed. This is one major pointer.
Thank you, madam. There is one more question. They would like to know, participants would like to know any online courses you will be providing or you recommend for them to take a course in nutrition.
Online now, there are quite a few courses where they talk about personal understanding of nutrition. So I have seen right now in India things like Udemy and all, which have different courses based on what you're interested. For example, you want to know more about gut bacteria, you can do it. They are overload of information. You please research, check what you want, identify what are the factors which are very close to your heart. The pointers which I have given is irrespective of age. All of you can follow, be it water, activity, inclusion of protein in your diet, converting into carbohydrates, shifting to carbohydrates. These are common pointers for all of us. Along with this, for elders, it would be much better based on their health conditions. If they have any health issues, their digestive system automatically, as they age, it weakens. So for them, you would have to consult with their doctors and shift the nutrition to easily digestible or already semi-digested forms like porridges, but ensure that they have good amount of complete nutrients for elderly people.
Thank you very much, madam. Now I request our CEO, Dr. A. M. Ramesh sir, to speak few words.
Madam, it was an excellent talk. Gave a lot of information to broaden the horizon of our knowledge, maintaining good nutrition. You are a role model for many of us. Please keep going. We will be inviting you for our future conferences as well, madam. Thank you very much from KSTA. Thank you very much. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir, yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Hello.
Sir, please go ahead, sir. Hear sir.
Madam, thank you very much from KSTA. It was an excellent talk. Gave a lot of information for us to broaden the horizon of our knowledge in nutrient management during COVID time. You are a role model for most of the youngsters to emulate. Thank you very much. We'll be inviting you for our future conferences as well. Have a great day. Thanks, madam.
Now I would like to thank on behalf of KSTA and on behalf of all the participants and on my own behalf our chairman, CEO and all other academy technical, non-technical staff, and most importantly I would like to thank our today's two important resource persons, Dr. Nitin Patil J and Dr. Parimala Jagesh. Thank you very much for joining us and giving your most experienced knowledge and sharing with all the people. Thank you very much, sir. In future, we will be collaborating with you people again, such webinars and other activities. Thank you. Thank you once again, all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Patil.
Thank you, sir.
Any words to say? Yes.
Dr. Haley.
Yes, doctor.
No,
Doctor,
just,
any words to say?
no, sir, just say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, we have another meeting parallelly going on, so just to join back. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, sir, thank you.